So let's talk. Yeah. Talk. You wanna talk. You gotta talk, you need to talk. News talk.
Let's see, do we have Greg with us now?
808.
There he is. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Greg.
All right, hold on one
Repeat it.
second. We have a little technical snafu, but we're getting it fixed. Are we ready? 1 second. All right. Well, as soon as Greg comes back, I want to talk about cookies. I think it is
Special cookies.
the new issue of our day. Are you with us now, Greg?
I think so.
First, tell us a bit about you, your background.
I'm sorry, I missed that
Tell us a
question.
little bit about you and your background so people know who Greg Howard is.
Okay, Greg Howard is a husband, a father, financial planner, former Marine, hardcore patriot, and dyed-in-the-wool conservative of the paleo-conservative type. In other words, the Constitution is what I gauge everything from.
All right, now.
I am filthy. I am riddled with lice. Hogs, when they look at me, vomit.
Now, we have a chat room attached to our show, Talk to Solomon, here on CPN Live, and you've been going through something with certain individuals out there in Twitterland and the like. Tell us a bit about that. I know you explained it to me, but let's tell our viewing audience, because they're seeing some of the filth and the lowlife and the disgusting comments of these
Trolls. They're trolls.
what do you call them? I'd call them something else. I'd call them people that need to be eliminated from the from the world of polite people. I mean, there's a place for them. It's lined with Vaseline probably, but the fact is, God makes us all, but some people feel that if you offend them, they have a right to more than offend you. I used to have this problem. I don't anymore because one of them made the mistake of coming to my face, and he misplaced his in the process. But tell us what happened.
Well, basically, a few weeks ago, some idiot created a Murder Glenn Beck Twitter account, and I won't take credit for getting rid of it, but I did lead a group of people to bring it to Twitter's attention and to make it very well known that we were not going to tolerate this on Twitter. Well, ever since, there's a group of them. I'm not even going to give them the dignity of mentioning their names on here that have decided to do. The first thing they did is they created a false direct message using Photoshop, obviously. These guys, they're not very good with Photoshop, but unfortunately there are a number of morons out there that will believe anything they see. One of which I used the N-word and threatened to kill a guy with an AR-15. Don't own one of those guys. I got an M4. It's much better. Also, then they started creating false retweets. It's very easy to do. Any moron can do it, and these guys are certainly up to the task because they're moron enough. Have started creating retweets where I make racist statements, threaten to kill the President of the United States, and it's escalated from there. The other day they created a false screenshot of the Alabama sex offender database, and even though there's no Greg Howard in that database whatsoever, they put it up there. By the way, you idiots didn't get my middle name right, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. And you missed my birthday by a number of years, and apparently you think I'm taller than I am, so that means I'm intimidating the hell out of you. So anyway, they put up this false screenshot of me being convicted of having sex with a 4-year-old or a 6-year-old kid. I don't remember much about it. We've managed to get a number of their accounts kicked off, but Twitter is an absolutely idiotic organization and doesn't seem to know how to ban these folks permanently, so they come back under different names, different spellings. You can tell it's the same guys because idiots typing with their elbows have distinctive chat room features, and I can spot them every time.
The reality is, and let's be, my mother used to say, you be frank and I'll be earnest, we can have a good conversation. The
Right.
fact is, you offended a homosexual or a group of homosexuals, and in the homosexual genre, there are many people, some one end of the spectrum and some the other end of the spectrum, like in every group of people. There's no one explanation, but among homosexuals, there are a group who are very vicious and very vindictive.
The militant homos.
And militant and more. And I want to tell you a story that is a true story. On my life, it's a true story. A friend of mine was a lady with 5 children. Her 2 youngest were twins. The lady was attractive and her kids were attractive, and her 2 boys were very attractive boys, good looking, curly haired. She was black. And these fellows were 17, I believe. And one was named Stacy, the other was named Kelly. At any rate, one of them was like his mother. He went to church, did what his grandmother said. They were both brought the same way, but one went with the church and one decided he was going to go a different direction. So he started hanging with a group that included some homosexuals, and before very long, the group he was hanging with were all homosexuals. I don't know if he was or wasn't. I'd have no way of knowing that, and no one ever said. To make the story tragic, his grandmother, and by the way, she was never the same and died not too long thereafter, came downstairs from her bedroom in the morning, went to the basement to put some clothes in the wash, and there was her grandson hanging from the basement ceiling. He had been disemboweled. They didn't kill him first. They disemboweled him while he was hanging there. They had stuffed something in his mouth so he couldn't scream. And when they called the police, and he died, he was dead when she found him, and all kinds of sexual things that I could tell you about that were done to him. But when they called the police, and the police came, and they took pictures and that, and they took the body, there was nothing in the paper. There was nothing on television. There was nothing anywhere. And so the boy's mother called the police, the person that gave the card, so they were in charge. She said, "Why aren't you looking for my son's killers?" He said, "Well, we're looking." She said, "But you're not, no one's talking about what happened to my son." He said, "We don't do that." She said, "What do you mean you don't do that?" He said, "We have a special division for crimes committed by homosexuals against homosexuals." He said, in San Francisco, 10% of all the homicides are queers, homosexuals killing other queers or homosexuals by doing sexually deviant things that end up killing somebody. If we were to put out what these people were doing to themselves and others, because they do it to themselves too, he said, the public would go out and kill them all. So we can't do that. We can't make it known what these people do. The highest level of drug addiction, the highest level of abuse of partners, the highest level of alcoholism, the highest level of murder are all in that community. And they don't talk about it because if the public knew, not all, not most, but what many of the people in that community do, then the aversion to them would be so great that those who are nice people, and there are many, and those who play by the rules, and there are many, and those that keep their business to themselves, and there are many, would be unfairly targeted and possibly hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's very true. For example, there are a number of guys that I tweet with on Twitter that they're openly gay. They're patriotic conservatives. They're right along the line, and I have no bone to pick with them. They don't even tweet about being gay. It just happens to be in their profile. I don't have a problem with these folks, but these hateful ones, they're very, very dangerous. And I'll tell you what, I'm even more dangerous to them than they are to me, because there is no way to get anywhere near my house that I can't see you 150 yards away. And so just remember that, guys. But in any event, this is very, very dangerous situation, because not only are these folks creating false retweets, they are now trying to create a race war on Twitter. And I'm just not going to stand for that. There's absolutely no racist bone in my body, and anybody who